So that's around my
booting up.
that I print off for the packets. Our printer having that docked or something. What? But does it not print to our printer if I'm not docked?
It should. That shouldn't matter. Communicating over the Wi-Fi, presumably. Steve, how are you? Pretty good.
Yeah, words of wisdom.
Don't mess with asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I was doing.
Yeah, good to see ya.
Yeah, just keep thinking about the print. Oh, I haven't.
Was it you're trying to print?
I'm just trying to print the minutes that go in my packet since I forgot to print them. I have the official ones that make it, but
We will,
that's not a big deal.
and you'll be fine.
Hey.
Finally requested the parcel H.
I have been
thing,
over
they
the-
requested it. Yes, you have that.
Why?
They want to talk things over with people and reevaluate.
Right here, it's like it's space.
I was wondering if your email, with your email today, if you're gonna take it off.
Yep. The applicants requested it yet.
Next,
Okay. Two Malian dogs spelling out.
simple enough.
L-I-N.
I mean,
Did her a little bit earlier, did I?
yeah,
Seriously.
completely taken off or just further conversation before?
Yeah, I think they wanted.
I do know that.
I was not offered specifics, but I think they're gonna want to talk to, neighbors.
Neighbors.
Stuff.
That's good.
Reevaluate.
Okay, I'm sure it's great.
Something's gonna.
Eventually.
It's like the mini store.
I do have that.
Every
You
time.
know what? I did a reference class earlier. If you
I mean, I was gonna. I was
move
talking
your
this one.
parking,
Yeah, so.
you can fit 15 of the townhomes that are across the street in that. You built like a little cul-de-sac. I know it would be less tight. Just interesting.
You wouldn't know that. They're
Yeah.
You have a different, and you wanna.
I say I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, please.
I care too much about taxes.
So you know.
Tax value.
I mean, this one's kind of got.
Doesn't matter.
But it just.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
So you think
Yeah, it's got.
we do
That's
here
the
now.
one that I could send.
They wouldn't be.
Okay.
Oh, or shall we clear that? Well, I think it's like
Just.
some of the other cities are harder, home-based.
Yeah.
$1,000.
bulk.
Residential.
Just send the heat already down. Just send it on.
I get to drive.
So that's what people come in here, they try. Yeah.
Hey, Adam's gonna email you an exhibit to pull up. For
Good, how are you doing?
Chris sent this one like 520, but he's gonna send you even newer one.
No.
How are ya?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
No, today it's kind of.
Haven't been able to. I think so. I think you're there.
I think I'm way down here.
They had you all the way down there last week, or last time too.
I'm way down there by
Yeah.
myself.
Somebody else. So just gonna move that. Let's try.
Where are you in?
This is really the ones I have a problem.
I did ask Jason and AJ to call in, so I have a phone number here. It might be one.
Midday, late morning.
Why are you doing it?
I understand it because I'm doing stuff.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that you're. It's like, oh.
Nope, that was me.
I agree. It's fine.
That's the parking.
You can put up a sign.
We'll do some administrative stuff with that and be done with it.
I'm sure you just know. Are you traveling? I'm here tomorrow. Right. That's good.
Yeah, so it's.
Well.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
stuff that's come up.
Well, I don't.
Those are just things I've heard.
Oh, and how many?
I mean, they think they can get a better vote.
See the back. Keep us for. Maybe it was.
I know.
I don't know where there's something really else. And next.
He's not, Reeves is not.
It is.
I don't know about it. I mean, I know that one guy runs. You know,
They keep finding out.
You'll come up with a weird time. Absolutely. I could see him saying no too.
That's on the phone.
AJ did, and we have. Phone number ending in 4942. Can you identify yourself, please?
Yes.
Nope.
It's both.
Jason, is that you calling in?
Way more information than I do. It's great to see these kids excel.
Three of those would get off, the three that I just.
Well, that's my reaction.
Ready?
It signs.
I will now call to order the October 9th, 2023 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Hillary, would you call the roll, please? Oh, I'm sorry, it's 5:46 p.m. Could you call the roll for us, Hillary?
Grant. Here. Brown. Thompson.
Here.
Steiger. Samuelson.
Here.
Forrest.
Here.
Reagan.
Here. Item number 3 is the approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes or additions to this evening's agenda? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Forced motions.
Second. Oh, Donna seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 4 is the approval of the September 25th, 2023 minutes of the regular Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Any changes or revisions to those minutes? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve the September 25th, 2023 minutes.
Thompson motions.
A second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Item number 5, I'd like to welcome all the guests that have joined us here tonight in person and those on Zoom this evening. Are there any members of the public here in person who wanted to make a comment on an item that is not on tonight's agenda? And anyone on Zoom with a comment that's not on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing nothing, we'll move on to item number 6, a public hearing and recommendation on an amendment to the Hughes Century Crossing planned unit development to allow for a single user storage building as a use in PUD parcel H. First, we tabled this motion at the last planning and zoning meeting, so I'd like to entertain a motion to remove item number 6 from the table.
Forced motions.
In a second.
Am I allowed to? I'll second.
Hillary, would you call
Grant,
the
second.
roll, please?
Samuelson,
Yes.
Forrest,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Thompson,
Am I allowed to?
sorry,
Yes.
Wagonator.
Yes. Okay, so now that it's been removed from the table, I'm going to close the public hearing at 5:49 PM. And the reason that we're doing that is because the applicant on item number 6 withdrew their request. So there's no current action needed from the Planning and Zoning Commission. And so with that, we'll move on to item number 7. This is also a public hearing and recommendation on an amendment to the North Shore Planned Unit Development. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing at 5:49 PM. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it pretty brief, just because this is a pretty hefty item from a detailed perspective. So the North Shore PUD originally was drafted a while back. There were some amendments made a couple of years ago, or maybe even last year, recently. Even more recently, we had the approval of a planned unit development to the west of this and to the north portion of it. The Maple Heights PUD coming off of 50th Avenue, and they presented a right-of-way and land use layout that the applicants tonight have sort of responded to, if you will, by doing some redesigns and shuffling around of their PUD. The document that I submitted, in addition to this layout, included a red line copy courtesy of Mr. Chris Shires from Confluence, noting the changes between the prior edition and the current one. So I'm going to keep my section pretty brief in case the applicants wish to speak on it. But this is the PUD as presented.
Would the applicant or a representative of the applicant like to speak on this item?
Sure would. Chris Shires, principal with Confluence, 525 17th Street, Des Moines, Iowa. Happy to be here tonight. I can also be almost as brief as Elliot, but thought it might be worth just going into a little more detail. And I'm here, of course, representing the property owner road contractors. Like Elliot said, this is actually amendment number 2. A couple of years ago, we did make some other minor amendments to the PUD. But in reaction to marketing the property, working with the property, kind of rethinking a few things through, and of course, the Stark property development along the kind of the western boundary, we have proposed some changes. And so significantly along the north boundary where you see the commercial property, the neighborhood commercial, that was a mix of multifamily and medium density townhome, so apartments and townhome type zoning. Instead, what we're proposing is that go to a neighborhood scale retail commercial development. And then on the kind of the south westernmost border, we had a little more single family residential in that area, but in the orange, more townhome row house, frankly, respecting and responding to the Stark property development, as well as we modified our street alignment through that area to connect and better link up with what they're proposing, thinking that this is mutually beneficial. And then in brown, on the very western corner, that is designated for senior residential of some type, and in the PUD, we did set some parameters on that, thinking that'd be a great location for a senior-oriented community, kind of various types to be determined. And so those are kind of the big changes in a nutshell. Otherwise, we're complying with the basic city zoning code regulations for the different districts, and in some cases, adding a couple more restrictions on land use types and some of the design standards. Happy to go into greater detail. We do have a conceptual master plan for some of the property that, should you want to see that, laid out a few ideas of what could be mainly on the, and then Elliot did pull that up, thank you, mainly on the commercial portions. Obviously, as we get out to Highway 28, that's where we have more of the community commercial versus the lower scale neighborhood commercial as we get kind of deeper into the development, and then kind of the single family lot layout. So really excited about the continued potential of the North Shore, really being a great entryway into the community along the Highway 28 corridor. So we do have representatives from road contractors, should you want to hear anything from them, but otherwise I'm happy to answer any questions. And in case there's any questions from the public, I can sit down and yell at me. I'll come back up and respond as well.
Where do you have lake access for this North Shore?
Yeah, so lake access, the Lake Colchester is controlled by both the Lakewood Village Association, and then there's a benefited rec lake district, kind of a rare feature in Iowa. There's only a handful of those. And so access directly to the lake is very, very restricted. And so in this case, we have a shoreline protection district, that kind of light green boundary along the south boundary of North Shore. That is in essence, so we don't have individual properties with, say, their own dock or direct lake access. And it's also a way that the association as well as the rec district can access the lake shoreline, do maintenance work, kind of control it, protect it. It's also the high water mark. And so when the lake is at full height at the spill water, we're not having, single family homes, impacted by flooding. And so we did want to kind of buffer it. Otherwise, in that darker green, that southernmost square in dark green has already been dedicated by the current property owner to Lakewood Village Association. So that has frontage along the shoreline. So that potentially, depending on what the village wishes to do, could be a new marina, dock, access to this private lake. Otherwise, really trying to control and manage that access, really at the request of the greater association. And then I should have noted earlier on, we do have a letter of support from the association for this PUD amendment.
But that's where the single family or the townhomes, if they wanted to have lake access, they pay the fee, but they would go through the green area to get onto their lake.
Yes, that is correct.
This is a dumb question, but the dark green area, it is ordered by the protection district. How do you bypass that?
Long-term, that lake, that's a great question. I should have clarified that. So long-term, that shoreline protection district will be owned by the Lakewood Village Association. So they'll have, in essence, it'll be all one ownership. They can control what's on it, how it's accessed. We envision actually there being a walking path or trail or something along that, depending on the desires of the community.
Any other questions for the applicant's representative or the applicants? You take a seat
Thank
and we'll
you.
call you back up if we need you. Thank you.
I should mention real quick, I didn't receive any public comment on this. I did receive two phone calls, well, an in-person visit and a phone call asking some clarifying questions, but no comment on the proposal.
Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on item number 7 here in person tonight? Any members of the public on Zoom who would like to speak on item 7? Okay, any other questions from the commission? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:57 PM and we'll begin the deliberation portion of the public hearing. I don't have any fundamental issues with the proposed changes. AJ, anything from you?
Nope, nothing on my end.
Well, there's nothing further from the commission. I'll entertain a motion to approve the amendment to the North Shore Plan Unit Development.
Make the motion. Thompson second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Samuelson.
Aye.
Force.
Aye.
Grant.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reginer.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Item number 8 is a request from Norwalk JV 22 LLC for approval of the final plat of Dunn Property Plat 2. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, so this final plat is the splitting virtually in half of the remnant outlot from Dunn Property Plat 1. That plat originally contained lots 1, 2, and 3, north being to the left in this exhibit. And this area occupied by lots 1 and 2, 6.22 acres, simple lot split here. We do have a site plan that's undergoing some review right now for one of these lots. And so nothing officially on the books as far as what's going to happen, but projects are rolling along. And my understanding is that they're going to be right on the ball with this as well. I really don't have anything else to add. All the stormwater infrastructure is mostly in place already with that outlot Z. And I know we do have Dan Carlson on the Zoom representing the project tonight. Otherwise, happy to answer any questions.
Do you have a bigger picture of the whole area?
I wish it's in there.
Dan, was there anything further you wanted to share with the commission tonight?
No comments from us. Like Elliot said, this is just a more or less a formality on the lot split, and I know our buyers are eager to get started there.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission on this one? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve the final plat of Dunn Property Plat 2 on behalf of Norwalk JV 22 LLC.
Thompson motions.
4 seconds.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Force.
Aye.
Grant.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Reginer.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Item number 9 is a city council update from David, but I don't think he's joining us tonight. We do have item 10, economic development from Holly here. What do you have for us, Holly?
Well, I'll just run through some of the more time sensitive projects and things that are going on. I'm sure you've all seen on Facebook everywhere that Jason Momoa is coming on the 16th. We've waited our whole lives for this. No, I'm just kidding. So it's pretty exciting for Norwalk. It'll be really a madhouse at Fairway and the traffic, but the police department's working with his team on that. But if you can get in there and you can get a spot, get in there. So there's a couple of different things that we're working with him and his team and his family on. And, you know, he's got his water brand, which several of the businesses in Norwalk Central will be carrying and serving. And then he's got this new vodka brand, which is what he's promoting when he comes on the 16th. So our 2 hotels going into Norwalk Central will be serving it there, carrying it there. The Merck incoming and Diligent Development obviously is one of our bigger developers in Norwalk. So they've been trying to get it established in all of their different facilities and businesses. So he's got the vodka and the water. And then we have that beer that Court Avenue Brewers developed for Norwalk. That's kind of for the celebrities and the professional athletes in Norwalk. So that will also be carried out in Norwalk Central. But so we're working with him on a couple of these different aspects, which is pretty fun. So what we're trying to do, and I don't know that we'll be able to carve out enough time while he's here because it's such a short trip, but we're going to try to get just a closed special kind of invite only for city people, maybe at the Merck, just to do kind of like a small ceremony, maybe a dedication, like a key to the city with the mayor, something like that with him, just to do a little bit something special for him while he's here, because I don't think that's really ever been done for him. So we'll try to carve that out. And if we get that done, then we'll get the invitations to you guys. And then the other thing is the Kosovo president, the president of the Republic of Kosovo, to be exact, is coming on October 25th to Norwalk specifically. So she's coming to the US. Of course, she'll meet with the governor and do all that stuff with the military and everything. She actually has to go speak with the UN Security Council the day that she was supposed to arrive here. So she's going to be a little bit late, but we still have our time with her specifically in Norwalk from 2:30 to 4 p.m. on the 25th. It's a Wednesday. So if you would like to attend, please let me know. It'll be really cool. We're going to have her out at Norwalk Central. And we're going to dedicate a star on the Walk of Fame, on the Norwalk of Fame, to her, and then do a key to the city and proclamation at the fire department and everything with the mayor. So please let me know if you're interested in attending that. And then as our certified site, our second certified site application was submitted a couple of months ago, things are going really well there. There's just a few site engineering pieces that have to be turned in, but we have a site visit with the state in the beginning of November. And so as long as everything goes well with them and our engineering teams and everything there, Mid-American will come. If that's all good, then we should get the certification specifically notified for that by the end of this year. So that would be really, really good. And we're fielding just still a ton of prospects for large industrial data centers for that whole area. We're even working on a potential third site down there further to the west. So a lot of activity there. We're starting the Delaware Street extension project. And that is, we're just starting with the engineering piece of it this year. And then as soon as we have prospects to kind of continue to fill in the land to the west, then we'll do the construction of the extension. But this is just for that section. It's 723 feet from where it ends now at the end of Michael Foods property line to the end of our new certified site property line, which is this Norwalk JV 22 property. So that'll be good to get that paved and done. And then FERDA announced that they are finally, we've been waiting for this forever as well. We finally have a pretty good solution to the transportation issues we were having for all of our employees at our larger employers. So Michael Foods and Windsor and Capital City Fruit and Produce Innovations. They've come together and HERDA is offering this for free and the employees can ride it. They have a couple different stops in the metro and they'll get dropped off at 3 of those businesses on their regular schedule. So that's pretty cool. I'll help them with that. We are still waiting to announce the 3 restaurants and the national retailer south of Delaware. And that's just because we just try to be respectful. Sometimes it slips out anyway, or, you know, a news outlet will grab hold of something and run with it. But we just try to be respectful of the business and do it when they tell us to do it, which is generally when they close on the land, because up until that point, so many things can happen. So we're hoping this month we'll be able to. So the entrance corridor, I know that's been sort of a hot topic for a long time with the walls and the fences, and we really need to get that project done. So we started that project maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and we sent letters to all the property owners along there, and everybody was on board and it was really moving along. And then it got just kind of sidelined because of other projects that came up with the city that just was more of a priority. It could sewers, water towers, you name it, 1,000 things came up. But it's still a priority, and it seems like it's getting more important because we're hearing more from the public and from visitors that it really needs to be done with all these new visitors coming into the city. So we're trying to bump that up on the CIP and get that into the budget a little bit sooner. We do have money in the budget to get the new entrance monument sign done at the corner of basically North Shore, Highway 5 and 28. So we're working to get that piece of ground specifically identified so that we can get that thing constructed within a year. So that'll help. That'll get that corridor improvement kicked off. So we're still working with a third hotel, working really hard to try to get a site for that brand. They've had some hard times getting landowners to commit or just getting the right site for them. So we're still working on a few of those, but hopefully we'll get that done this year. Hilton, moving along. They're hoping to start their site work by the end of this year. If so, we'll do a groundbreaking for them. If not, we'll wait till the spring when they get started. Marriott's well underway, still planning to open next summer. Star got through council last week, so they're planning to start in the spring as well, and hopefully be open by fall. If all goes well, they still have to close on their land as well. Starbucks will be open in about a month and a half, unless things move really quickly for them. That's at least what their engineering team relayed back. And then Fairway still plans to open by February, our city field house by March. And then as far as Norwalk Central and timing with what's going on out there. So the bike trail is installed on the north side of our property, and to the west side, we have a really wide, nice sidewalk on the west side of our building that connects to the fields. And that's been installed, and they're pouring access pieces and getting footings in for the Sportsplex building next week. Then they'll have the steel building package delivered for the Sportsplex building in January, and they'll start getting that structure put together over late winter and spring. And the south parking lot was, they call it south, I call it east. The south parking lot was poured last week. They're still working to finish up the north end entrance, but that will give us then the 3 full parking lots when that one's ready to get opened, and that will really alleviate a lot of the headaches. And I just want to publicly say again, I'm just very happy and proud of DeNovo and Sportsplex and Heartland and Diligent, because man, they had to do a lot of work to get those overflow lots established. I mean, obviously Luke and Elliot did a lot of work to get that done, but they had to spend a lot of money and do a lot of scrambling to do the overflow lot that wasn't even required of them, but they did it to just ease some of that street traffic. And then to scramble to get people off of those lots when the new parking lot opened, and all the signage that had to be ordered and put out and blocked off. So everybody did a lot of work to get that done, and we're still trying to route traffic, get them used to going to that northern lot. But DeNovo ordered a bunch of new signs in addition to help route that traffic. So it'll continue to get better there. And then I don't know if there was any other Norwalk Central major updates for timing. We just had a meeting today, but everything's moving on time there. And then
all of it.
yeah,
Think so.
yeah, okay. And then just lastly, the candidate forum is on Tuesday, the 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. And this is for city council candidates and the school candidates at the Norwalk Christian Church. And then there's a candidate meet and greet for city management on Thursday, the 19th from 1 to 6. It's long, I guess, because part of it involves touring Norwalk Central, going out there. So I'm sure you're all welcome to that, or you've been invited. So it's important, our candidates are important. So you can send in questions and be involved. And I think that's it, unless you guys have any questions. Any rumors on Facebook we could address?
When do you think the restaurant announcements will happen?
I'm really praying within a month, within the month. Nope. Some you may know, you may have heard already, but just again, official press release or announcement. We try to wait till they close on the land, close on the lease.
Thanks for the update, Holly.
You're welcome.
Luke, your item number 11, any update for us on community development?
Yeah, we've been busy, obviously, with all the stuff Holly's got going on. That eventually trickles down to us, and so in addition to all the planning stuff you guys see, we have 7 commercial permits that we're working through right now, which is a lot for us. We're also currently hiring a building official, so if you know anybody that's interested in working for the city, go out there and find that. Sooner I can not pretend to be a building official, the better. Better for everyone. So yeah, so that's going on. I'll let Elliot handle the planning stuff, but I'd echo what Holly mentioned on the parking lots and getting all that open. Again, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of this whole thing, that this is gonna be a clunky process. The whole thing's gonna be weird until it's not weird anymore. And this big first chunk is getting done. But there's gonna be more little issues out there as we see it. I can tell you the next one's gonna be when people start parking on Chatham and there's no sidewalks to anything and people are walking in the street. So, but as things build, sidewalks will get added, things will get filled out, and a couple years from now, we'll look back and say, this is awesome. So.
Is there anything on that, behind the doctor's office, the Colonial Circle? What's the latest on that?
So it has been put on hold for now. It was going to go to council on the 19th. But they're circling back on some things. So it's kind of in a hold status for now. And then we'll see where it comes back when it comes back.
Thanks, Luke.
Mhm.
Elliot, any update for us?
My primary update was that email that I sent to all of you guys in city council and most of the department heads a couple, end of 2 weeks ago, middle of last week, whenever it was. I'm pretty proud of what I wrote in there. As far as development stuff, maybe a little bit less interesting, but just some updates on plats. We're working through prelim plat of Warrior Run Estates Plat 3. That's finally back on the table. Saddle Ridge Plat 1 construction document review, so infrastructural plans is underway. And then we've been spending quite a bit of time working with the folks developing Hackney Hills, and also having to engage with Ron Farms Crossing to the west to figure out some infrastructural dealios. So a lot of nitty gritty with those particular projects. Otherwise, a lot of those plats that we approved like in May of this year, March of this year, are still getting built out. So might be spring till we see another final plat of any sort. That's pretty much all I have.
Our next meeting will be October 23rd at 5:45 p.m. And at this time, I would entertain a motion and a second for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned at 6:14 p.m. Thank you, everyone.